Now, according to Google's latest cybersecurity forecast, attacks will increase in sophistication along with technological advancements like generative AI. Google released its Google Cloud Cybersecurity Forecast 2024 on Wednesday. This research, which delves deeply into the cyber landscape for the future year, was created in partnership with multiple Google Cloud security teams. According to the paper, large language models and generative AI will be used in phishing, SMS, and other cyber attacks, along with other social engineering techniques to make information, including voice and video, seem more authentic. Now, joining me to discuss this further is Ayotayo Balogun, who is co-founder at Links Hub Connect Services. It's great to have you on the Global Business Report, Ayo. Many thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Great, you most welcome. Well, let's begin now with how the integration of artificial intelligence and cybersecurity could possibly contribute to a more proactive defense strategy against potential cyber threats.
But thank you. So, generative AI, one of the major errors that people make is not recognizing that regular AI is different from generative AI. Generative AI has the capacity to act in ways that, you don't have to pre-program it to act a certain way. It looks at inputs and then based on that generates what is considered like an appropriate output to as a direct response to what's happening. So from the perspective of cybersecurity, the same way, it's kind of it's a leveler both ways. It would be beneficial to the attackers. It's also beneficial to the defenders. So there are a lot of things that can happen. You have situations where people with less skills can start to generate a lot of malicious software without necessarily having any kind of deep knowledge. And people who are defending will also be in a position to leverage this and automatically defend against a lot of situations that will be arising.
Right, absolutely. Well, but let's look at how organizations can balance the need for advanced AI-driven cybersecurity measures with the potential risk, for instance, of creating more sophisticated cyber weapons in the process.
Yeah, so organizations would need to, so a lot of organizations are hesitant to adopt AI, and it's understandable because at the initial stage when AI came out, there was a lot of unfettered adoption, and that led to the situation with Samsung where they had their intellectual properties exposed to a lot of people because the use of AI wasn't regulated. First, organizations need to teach their people and let them know that they can leverage AI for good, but it also has to come with a lot of guides. There needs to be training on ethical use, on responsible use, and also let people know that it's like handing a gun to someone, all right? If it's meant to be used for their protection and they don't use it well, it can also be a problem to them and everybody around them. So being able to leverage AI, organizations are going to have to deliberately work on leveraging it, create frameworks for adoption, and then find a way to monitor how their users are leveraging generative AI.
Right, but surely these are legitimate concerns around, privacy, just safeguarding your data. What approaches beyond that? Because we know that this is what's hampering, basically limiting in terms of mind space to say I want to adopt it on a part of organizations. But what responsible means already on ground for adoption ahead of that?
So governments are already looking at enacting standards and laws on adoption, but as at this moment, I'm not sure there's anything concrete yet. But governments are working on it, and the same it's going to have to pretty much work the same way as when the internet came, when everything came, and it made it easy to reach everyone. It also makes it easy for people to um, do global trade, e-commerce. When boom, it's the same way. Productivity, it's good for productivity. It's also like dangerous. So adoption has to be deliberate, like I said earlier. Introducing the ethical standards and basically user training, just letting people know that if they don't pay attention to this, it's going to be more detrimental than beneficial.
Right. Well, I mean, talking about user training, let's talk about how AI can be leveraged to educate and train perhaps cybersecurity professionals to stay ahead of evolving cyber threats.
What happens with especially security awareness trainings? What happens is that there are platforms that integrate into the IT infrastructure. It examines the tendencies of each user. If a particular user is more tech savvy than the other, then all this information are gathered and then automatically fed into some kind of behavioral analytics platform. And based on that, AI can generate like specific trainings and target specific users. I know that this person has a tendency to use simple and easily crackable passwords, right? So I will automatically, well, not me, the AI will automatically generate trainings that focuses a lot on password management, password strength, and all that. If he knows that someone has a tendency to click on no on like weird links, which will make them susceptible to phishing, the analytics platform will know that, and it fits directly into generative AI. Generative AI would use that to build a security awareness training that is specific to helping combat spam and letting them know what to do if clicking on links, for instance, is in their job description and they can't avoid it. It will train them. It will bring up trainings that help them know what things to look out for and stuff. And it can also their performance level or their adoption level or their maturity level will also feed back into the behavioral analytic process, and that goes back into the generative AI, which knows what kind of training to assign to them next.
Right, really fascinating. Absolutely. Lots to learn and, of course, a lot of catching up to do as well because we're evolving into that space very quickly. Tayo Balogun, thank you so much for joining us on the Global Business Report.